She told me she was at a club, and that's when Mendeecees tried to holler at her. It's the scandal shaking the love and hip-hop world. Jessica White just did the unthinkable. In a move no one saw coming, she exposed private DMs from none other than Mendeecees Harris. And let's just say, Yandy Smith is not happy about it. The internet is on fire. Fans are in shock. And the question on everyone's mind is, what was in those messages that Yandy didn't want the world to see? Jessica isn't holding back. And the receipts she's dropping are sending shockwaves through the entire industry. Some are calling it betrayal. Others say it's karma finally catching up. But one thing's for sure, this is about to change everything for Yandy and Mendeecees. Are we witnessing the beginning of the end for one of reality TV's most talked about couples? Or is there more to this story than meets the eye? Stay locked in, because we're breaking down every detail, every explosive revelation, and every reaction as the truth finally comes to light. You won't believe what Jessica revealed. And what Yandy did next? It'll leave you speechless. Jessica White had been sitting on this information for weeks, watching, waiting, and debating whether she should come forward. But when she finally did, the internet exploded. Screenshots of DMs, allegedly from Mendeecees Harris, started circulating like wildfire. And fans? They were left speechless. These weren't just casual conversations. They hinted at something deeper. Something that could shatter the perfect image Yandy and Mendeecees have fought so hard to maintain. Jessica didn't just drop a bomb. She set off a chain reaction that no one could stop. The moment those receipts hit the timeline, social media went into a frenzy. People started dissecting every message, looking for clues, trying to piece together what's really been going on behind the scenes. And Yandy? She was nowhere to be found. The normally outspoken reality star, who always had something to say, suddenly went silent. And that silence? It spoke volumes. But let's rewind. How did we even get here? Why did Jessica decide to put Mendeecees on blast? According to sources close to her, Jessica had been biting her tongue for far too long. She had seen things, heard things, and deep down she knew something wasn't right. But it wasn't until she got her hands on the actual messages that she realized she had undeniable proof. The moment she saw them, she knew. She couldn't stay silent any longer. Fans of love and hip-hop know that Yandy and Mendeecees have been through their fair share of ups and downs. From legal troubles to rumors of infidelity, they've weathered it all. Or at least, that's what they wanted us to believe. But Jessica's revelations paint a very different picture. According to her, these DMs weren't just innocent exchanges. They had a tone, an energy, that suggested something much bigger had been going on. As soon as the screenshots surfaced, fans started speculating. Some believed Jessica without question, saying it was only a matter of time before Mendeecees got exposed. Others weren't so sure, accusing her of clout chasing and stirring drama for attention. But Jessica didn't just post the messages and vanish. She went live on Instagram, addressed the situation head-on. Her voice was calm, her tone firm, and her expression dead serious. "I wasn't even going to do this," she said, shaking her head. "But you know what? I'm tired. I'm tired of watching women get played, lied to, manipulated. I wasn't going to say anything. But at some point, the truth has to come out." Her followers flooded the comments, begging her to spill the rest of the details. And she did. She explained how she first found out about the messages, how she confronted Mendeecees in private, and how his reaction only made things worse. According to Jessica, instead of denying everything outright, Mendeecees tried to downplay it. He told her it was nothing, just a misunderstanding, but Jessica wasn't buying it. And neither were the fans. Then came the twist no one saw coming. Jessica hinted that Yandy already knew. "This isn't news to her," she said cryptically. "Trust me." That one statement sent the internet into a tailspin. If Yandy knew about the messages, why hadn't she said anything? Was she trying to protect Mendeecees? Was she covering up yet another scandal? The questions kept piling up, and Yandy's silence wasn't helping. Meanwhile, Mendeecees was completely MIA. No statements, no explanations, just radio silence, and that only made things worse. People started speculating that he was behind the scenes, trying to strategize, figure out how to spin the situation before speaking out. But by then, the damage was already done. The messages were out, the conversations were happening, and no amount of damage control could erase what Jessica had revealed. As more and more people weighed in, old rumors about Mendeecees began resurfacing. Fans dug up past allegations, previous cheating scandals, even moments from Love and Hip Hop where Yandy seemed like she was holding something back. It was like a domino effect. One revelation led to another. And before anyone could catch their breath, the entire internet was talking about them. And just when it seemed like it couldn't get any messier, Jessica dropped another bombshell. She claimed Mendeecees had been in her DMs long before this all went public. She didn't post screenshots this time, but she didn't need to. Just the implication was enough to send social media into overdrive. If true, this changed everything. It meant Mendeecees had been playing a dangerous game, and now it was blowing up in his face. But the real question remained. Where was Yandy in all of this? Why hadn't she addressed it? Some speculated she was figuring out her next move. Others believed she was trying not to give the drama more fuel. But one thing was clear. She couldn't stay silent forever. The pressure was building, and sooner or later, she'd have to speak. Then, just as people started wondering if Yandy was going to pretend this never happened, something unexpected appeared on her Instagram story. 3 cryptic words. I see everything. No explanation, no context. Just that. Fans instantly started analyzing it. Was she calling out Jessica? Was she acknowledging the messages? Or was this her way of letting people know she wasn't going to be played for a fool? The drama had only just begun, and if there's one thing we all know about Yandy and Mendeecees, it's this. Their story is far from over. The internet was still reeling from Jessica White's bombshell. But now, Yandy Smith's cryptic response was adding fuel to the fire. I see everything. That was all she posted. And yet, it sent fans into a frenzy. What did she mean? Was she silently confirming the rumors? Was it a warning to Jessica? Or was it her way of saying she wasn't going to let this slide? People started digging through Yandy's social media, looking for any clues. They analyzed her recent posts, checked her liked tweets, even revisited old interviews, trying to find patterns. Then someone noticed something strange. Yandy had quietly unfollowed Mendeecees on Instagram. That one tiny move spoke louder than any words. Within minutes, the blogs had picked up on it. Yandy unfollows Mendeecees. Cheating rumors erupt. Trouble in paradise? Fans were convinced this was Yandy's way of making a statement, without actually saying anything. But if she was truly done with Mendeecees, why hadn't she just come out and said it? Meanwhile, Jessica wasn't finished. She went live again, this time addressing Yandy directly. Listen, I know she's watching, I know she sees everything. But sis, at some point you gotta stop covering for him, she said, shaking her head. This ain't the first time, and we both know it won't be the last. Jessica wasn't backing down. In fact, she doubled down. She claimed Mendeecees had been doing this for years, and that Yandy had been turning a blind eye. I got no reason to lie, Jessica insisted. I didn't wake up one day and decide to start drama. I put this out there because women need to stop accepting this kind of behavior. It don't matter how much history you got with somebody. If they keep embarrassing you, at some point, you gotta walk away. Some fans praised Jessica for speaking out, saying she was doing what needed to be done. Others accused her of being messy, trying to ruin Yandy's family. But regardless of which side people were on, one thing was clear. This scandal wasn't dying down anytime soon. Meanwhile, Mendeecees was still completely silent. No posts, no responses, nothing. Some speculated he was just trying to wait out the storm, hoping it would blow over. Others believed he was scrambling behind the scenes, doing damage control. But with every passing hour of silence, it just looked worse. Then, out of nowhere, a voice memo leaked. A short, grainy audio clip allegedly featuring Mendeecees talking about the situation. The clip was only a few seconds long, but it was enough to send social media into a frenzy. I ain't even worried about that girl, man. She just want attention. This whole thing is stupid. That's what the voice, allegedly Mendeecees, said. The second it hit the internet, fans went crazy. Some believed it was real. Others thought it sounded edited, but either way, it added a whole new layer of drama. Because if that voice really was Mendeecees, then he was completely dismissing Jessica's claims. But that raised another question. If that's how he really felt, why hadn't he just said so publicly? Why was his only response a leaked voice note? Jessica, of course, wasted no time clapping back. "Oh, so now I just want attention," she said sarcastically in a follow-up live. "If I wanted attention, I would have dropped everything I got, but I didn't. I put out enough for y'all to see the truth, and trust me, there's more where that came from." That was all it took. Another internet meltdown. Now everyone was wondering, what else does Jessica have? More messages, videos, receipts? Was she about to blow the whole thing wide open? The anticipation was killing people, and Jessica knew exactly what she was doing. But before she could drop anything else, Yandy finally broke her silence, and when she did, no one was ready for what she had to say. In a surprise move, Yandy went live, not with a statement, not with anger, but with a calm, collected demeanor. "Listen," she started, her tone controlled but firm. "I know y'all want me to come on here screaming and crying, but that's not what I'm going to do. Because at the end of the day, I'm not new to this. I've been through worse, and I will always handle my business the way I see fit." She didn't confirm or deny the messages. She didn't call out Jessica by name. Instead, she made it crystal clear. Whatever was happening, she was handling it on her own terms. "The internet doesn't run my life," she said. "I don't answer to blogs. I don't answer to comments. I handle my family the way I handle my family, and that's all I have to say." The way she delivered that message, it left everyone shaken. Was she standing by Mendeecees? Was she admitting that the messages were real? Or was she simply refusing to give Jessica the satisfaction of a public breakdown? Whatever her reasoning, her response only raised more questions. Then, just as the dust was starting to settle, Jessica dropped another receipt. This time, it wasn't a text. It was a screenshot of a conversation between her and a mutual friend. The messages were vague, but they hinted at something even bigger than DMs. "You know this isn't the first time," the friend allegedly wrote. "There's way more to this story." Fans immediately went into detective mode. Was this proof that Mendeecees had been doing this for years? Were there other women involved? And most importantly, was Yandy actually aware of it all? The internet was on fire. Tension was at an all-time high, but the biggest bombshell was still yet to come, because Jessica wasn't done. Not even close. In fact, she had one more trick up her sleeve, and when she dropped it, there would be no going back. Just when the internet thought it had seen everything, Jessica White decided to turn the drama up another notch. She'd hinted there was more, but no one was prepared for what she posted next. Late at night, while social media was still buzzing over Yandy's response, Jessica posted something that sent shockwaves through the internet, a screen recording, and it wasn't just another screenshot of a text exchange. No, this was a full-on screen recording of her scrolling through her messages with Mendeecees.fans. Held their breath. She scrolled past the same DMs she had already leaked, but then, there it was, a new set of messages. And these weren't just flirtatious emojis or harmless texts. These were messages that suggested something far worse. Something that made it clear Mendeecees wasn't just casually talking to Jessica. He had made promises, and if those promises were real, they could destroy everything he had built with Yandy. One message, allegedly from Mendeecees, read, "You know how things are with me and her. I just need time to figure this out." Another one said, "You already know how I feel about you. Just keep this between us." Fans latched onto that phrase, "keep this between us." That was all it took. Twitter went into a meltdown. Had Mendeecees been juggling two women at the same time? Was he leading Jessica on while still playing family with Yandy? Some fans praised Jessica for speaking out, saying she was doing what needed to be done. Others accused her of being messy and trying to ruin Yandy's family. But regardless of which side people were on, one thing was clear. This scandal wasn't dying down anytime soon. Meanwhile, Mendeecees was still silent. No post. No response. Nothing. Some people speculated he was trying to wait out the storm, hoping it would blow over. Others thought he was scrambling behind the scenes, trying to do damage control. But with every passing hour that he stayed quiet, the worse it looked for him. Then, out of nowhere, a voice memo leaked, a short, grainy audio clip allegedly featuring Mendeecees talking about the situation. The clip was only a few seconds long, but it was enough to send shockwaves through social media. "I ain't even worried about that girl, man," the voice allegedly said. "She just want attention. This whole thing is stupid." The second. The audio hit the internet. Fans went crazy. Some believed it was real. Others thought it might have been edited. But either way, it added another layer to the drama. If this really was Mendeecees, then he was completely dismissing Jessica's claims. But if that was the case, why hadn't he said it publicly? Why was his only response a shady little voice memo? Jessica, of course, wasted no time responding. "Oh, so now I just want attention?" she said sarcastically in a follow-up live. "If I wanted attention, I would have dropped everything I got, but I didn't. I put out enough for y'all to see the truth. And trust me, there's more where that came from." That was all it took to send the internet into another meltdown. What else did she have? More messages? Videos? Was she about to expose even more? The anticipation was killing people, and Jessica knew exactly what she was doing. But before she could release anything else, Yandy finally broke her silence. And when she did, no one was ready for what she had to say. In a surprise move, Yandy went live, not with a statement, not with anger, but with a calm and collected demeanor. "Listen," she started, her tone controlled but firm. "I know y'all want me to come on here screaming and crying, but that's not what I'm going to do, because at the end of the day, I'm not new to this. I've been through worse, and I will always handle my business the way I see fit." She didn't confirm or deny the messages. She didn't call out Jessica directly. Instead, she made it clear. Whatever was happening, she was dealing with it on her terms. "The internet doesn't run my life," she continued. "I don't answer to blogs. I don't answer to comments. I handle my family the way I handle my family. And that's all I have to say." The way she delivered her message was enough to make people question everything. Was she standing by Mendeecees? Was she indirectly admitting the messages were real? Or was she just trying to avoid giving Jessica the satisfaction of a public meltdown? Whatever her reason, her response only left people with more questions. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get any more complicated, a new twist emerged. Jessica posted another screenshot. This time, a conversation between her and a mutual friend. The messages were vague, but they hinted at something even bigger than just DMs. "You know this isn't the first time," the friend allegedly wrote. "There's way more to this story." Fans went into full detective mode, trying to figure out what it meant. Was this proof that Mendeecees had been doing this for years? Were there other women involved? And most importantly, was Yandy actually aware of it all? The internet was on fire, and the tension at an all-time high. But the biggest bombshell was still yet to come, because Jessica wasn't done talking. In fact, she had one more trick up her sleeve, something that would take this entire scandal to the next level. And when she finally dropped it, there would be no going back.